Welcome to the series of lectures on vector spaces. This is the 10th screencast which is dedicated to properties of inner product spaces. We will be considering some properties in the form of some theorems. In fact, we are considering three important theorems which will be used for solving the problems. So all these theorems need the refreshing of inner product space. So let us have the definition of inner product spaces. A vector space VF which satisfies the four axioms which are given by first number positive definite property, that is the inner product of x with itself is greater than or equal to 0, that is norm of a vector is always greater than or equal to 0, and the inequality holds true only when the vector itself is a null vector or zero vector. Second important axiom is this property of symmetry. It makes no difference if we write the inner product of x comma y or y comma x. So this is the symmetry property of two vectors belonging to the vector space under consideration. The third one is the homogeneity property, that is if we take the scalar product of a vector with a, that is real number, from the field f, then it is equal to writing a times the inner product of x and y. A comes out when we expand the inner product of these two vectors, that is the scalar product of vector ax and y itself. And the fourth property is distributive property from left, which is x plus y comma z, that is the inner product of x plus y with z. It distributes to x comma z plus y comma z. These two inner products are the inner products of x with z and y with z. So with all these four important axioms, this VF, which is a vector space, is now called the inner product space, which is abbreviated as IPS. Let us have the properties back to back. Number one, we are going to consider this important property, that is if VF be an inner product space, then the following properties hold true for the mapping x comma y. I have used the word mapping because if it is the vector space denoted by the Euclidean space Rn, then these will be the vectors. But if the vector space is the space of polynomials or continuous functions, then saying the dot product of two vectors is useless. So it is always better to call this as a mapping, and this is the mapping which relates the members from V to V cross V to a set of real numbers. That is, this mapping maps to a real number. So that is why I have used the word mapping. So these are the three important properties which we want to prove with the help of the properties we have listed in the previous slide. The inner product of 0 with x or x with 0 is equal to 0. The second is the extension of homogeneity property, or we can say it is the counterpart of homogeneity property, that is x comma ay is equal to a times the inner product of xy. The distributive property of inner product space, in this case we have taken x comma y plus z. Earlier it was x plus y comma z, and so this is equal to x comma y and x comma z. So we want to prove all these three properties with the help of axioms we have defined in the previous slide, that is the definition of inner product spaces. So let us have the proof of it. For we consider three members x, y and z in V, and a to be the real number in the field f, and also we consider the null vector, or we can call it zero vector. We can write the inner product of 0 and x in the expanded form like 0x1 plus 0x2 over to 0xn. Since we are dealing with the vector spaces, we can very well use the properties of real number which the field f exhibits. So we can write by using this commutative property of real numbers, 0 into x1 as x1 into 0, x2 into 0, and up to xn into 0. So if we reuse the definition of inner product, I can write it x comma 0, that is inner product of x and 0, and this 0 is 0 vector. So ultimately when we know that if we multiply a real number by 0, it becomes 0, so it is the sum of n zeros and it is all again a 0. So this first property is very simple and very akin to be proved. We come to the second property, x comma ay, which is in expanded form can be written as x1 bracket ay1 x2 bracket ay2 over to xn ayn. And if I use the associativity property of these real numbers x1 ay1 x2 ay2 and up to xn ayn, I can write a times x1 y1 plus a times x2 y2 up to a xn yn. I can take this a common because the field f gives us the liberty to use the distributive property, and from distributive property we can take this a out and we write the remaining terms within the bracket x1 y1 plus x2 y2 up to xn yn, and this is the inner product of two vectors x and y. So I can write a times x comma y. So this homogeneity property is also proved with the help of two important properties, that is associativity of real numbers and distributive property. Next we take the distributive property of inner product x comma y plus z. If I expand this inner product, I can write x1 bracket y1 plus z1 up to xn yn plus zn. So if I use the distributive property of real numbers, I can write x1 y1 plus x1 z1 for x2 y2 x2 z2 and xn yn xn zn. I collect the like terms of xy and xz and put them in the bracket or parenthesis, whatever we call. So this is the first part. We have taken the alternative terms x1 y1 x2 y2 up to xn yn, and the second bracket contains these terms with involving x and z. So these two are, when we use the definition of inner product, we can write x comma y and x comma z. So with this we proved the third property. So with all these three properties 1, 2 and 3, the theorem is proved and it is justified. Next we come to second important theorem, which is the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, vectors belonging to Euclidean space Rn. So what is the statement of this theorem? Let x and y be two members in Rn, an inner product space, then the absolute value of their dot product. Now we are specifying them to be the vectors belonging to the Euclidean space, and hence we can call the dot product of these two vectors x and y, which is when we take the dot product of this, we take the absolute value, and this absolute value is less than or equal to the product of their norms. So this we want to prove with the help of certain basic mathematical principles which we studied in our lower classes. So let us see how we solve it. First we consider two member vectors x and y in the inner product space V, and V here is the Euclidean space Rn. So according to the positive definite property of the inner product space, the norm of any vector is always positive, that is greater than or equal to 0, and hence its square is also positive definite. So we can always construct a vector x plus ty, which I have written over here, where t is the parameter, for which we can have a function defined ft equal to norm of x plus ty. It has some significance or some meaning. So you will agree with the positive definiteness of the norm of a vector, which we have already proved in the previous lecture. So we can always write that the norm of this vector is always greater than or equal to 0. This is the square of this function. So I can use this inequality very well because of the positive definiteness of the norm of any vector. So this vector is taken purposefully, and the purpose will be understood in the coming steps. So this norm can be written as the dot product of the vector with itself. So x plus ty dot x plus ty greater than or equal to 0, which when expanded to give this particular expression x dot x plus x dot ty, that is the dot product of this x with these two vectors, and the last two terms are the dot product of this ty with x and ty. So the inequality is always retained or preserved. So I can use again the definition of dot product of a vector with itself, which is the square of the norm. So I have written square of the norm of x plus t square from here and square of norm of y plus 2t times x dot y, that is dot product of xy, and dot product of xy is always commutative. We can write x dot y equal to y dot x, so it becomes double. So it is again greater than or equal to 0, and we are privatizing it by taking the absolute value here. So the purpose of taking this absolute value is to utilize the property which we want to really use. So recently this inequality where we have written t square times norm y square plus 2t times the absolute value of this dot product and plus norm of x square, these are all greater than 0. Now we have to see that when a quadratic expression is greater than or equal to 0, so it is the principle of mathematics that the quadratic expression of the type ax square plus bx plus c is always positive if we have a greater than 0 and this discriminant less than or equal to 0. So what is the meaning of a greater than 0? That is the coefficient of second degree term in the expression is positive and the discriminant of this quadratic expression should be less than or equal to 0. So we are going to use these two important properties. So in the present discussion, the coefficient of second degree term of that is t square is norm of square of the norm of y, which is always positive, and it needs to now use the condition b square minus 4ac less than or equal to 0 for the expression t square y norm y square plus 2t x dot y and norm x square greater than 0. So what we can offer with the help of this inequality is square of this coefficient of t, that is 4 times the absolute value of x dot y square minus 4ac means 4 times a norm y square and c norm x square. So I swapped it to write 4x norm x square norm y square, which is less than or equal to 0. If I divide by 4 and take this term on the right hand side, then this inequality is preserved due to the rule of inequalities. So I can very well write this one. Now when squares are having this kind of order relation, their square root will also have the order relation of the similar type, which is again the property of inequalities. And I can write the absolute value of x dot y is always less than or equal to the product of their norms. So the simple concept of this positiveness of a quadratic expression leads to the proof of this Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, and hence we can say that this establishes the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. And this is very important inequality which will be further used in theorem number 3, where we are going to prove the triangle inequality of vectors again in the Euclidean space Rn. So let us see what is. It is the triangle inequality that the norm of sum of two vectors is less than or equal to sum of their individual norms. So this is the property we are going to prove. Again, VF be the inner product space, then this property holds true for any members belonging to Rn. Here I have used the general symbol VF, but it is the Rn over the set of real number. So consider any two vectors, again x and y in the inner product space we are having under consideration. So the square of norm of some of these two vectors can be written as the inner product of x plus y with x plus y. And if I expand this by using the distributive property of inner products, then I can always write x inner product x, x inner product y, y inner product x, and y inner product y. That is, first we take this term with these two, and next we take this term with these two terms. So if I again use the definition of norm of a vector, I can always write norm of x square and norm of y square, and this is the 2 times the inner product of x and y, because the inner product is having the symmetry property. So if I write this in the order norm x square plus norm y square plus 2 times the inner product of x and y, and this inner product of x and y can be written as the absolute value of their dot product, because we have already taken x and y as the vectors in Euclidean space. Now we have written this x dot y, absolute value of x dot y, I can call the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So let us make a call to Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, and we can write x plus y norm square less than or equal to norm of x square plus norm of y square plus 2 times this. Why this inequality is appearing over here? Because the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality says that the absolute value of dot product of x and y is less than or equal to their product of norms. So that is why it is appearing over here. So this you can see that we have written 2 times this norm x norm y in place of this x dot y, and we have used the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality to replace equality by less than or equal to. Next, we can see that this is the perfect square. So we convert these 3 terms into the perfect square of sum of their individual norms, and if we take the square root of both the sides, I can write this norm of sum of these 2 vectors is equal to sum of the norms of their the 2 vectors x and y. So with this we are able to prove the triangle inequality for vectors in the Euclidean space Rn. I thank you very much for watching patiently and up to the end. Thank you very much.